behind Märzen is brewed darker and stronger to cover up for the flavor flaws from lack of refrigeration during the warmer summer months. So the beers were typically kept cold in the cellars during the lagering process, which lager is German for storage, referring to the aging of the beer. And typically lagers are aged for 6 to 8 weeks in the old days. Now, we do lengthy process. Our beers are aged for, the lagers that we produce are aged for 6 weeks, which is longer than any other craft beer in the country on average. Most ale breweries typically have a fermentation and aging cycle of about 2 to 2.5 weeks. So brewing a lager is a very slow, tedious, and expensive process, and it's kind of a labor of love. This beer was brewed in March through April, and because it didn't have the ice blocks up the lake, they would brew it at a higher alcohol concentration. So this has roughly 6% alcohol. And as you can tell, I'm starting to slur as the evening grows. But it's brewed with, features about 55% Pilsner malt, roughly 42% Munich malt, which is the emphasis on this flavor profile. This beer is all about the malt, and there's 3% of this caramelized Munich malt, which gives the beer a signature aftertaste, which is that rich caramel type finish, and also the darker color. It's lightly hopped, 18 bitterness in it. So on the Richter scale for bitterness, it's really the lightest hopped lager that we make. So it's very robustly rich in malt, and it's all about the malt in this beer. And Michael Jackson, the acclaimed beer writer, lists this as one of the top 3 representative styles in the world for Märzen. We're the only American brewery to be mentioned as one that produces this. This is the guy that doesn't wear the glove. He passed away a couple years ago. 2 years ago, he's really a preeminent beer writer, and great coffee table books about beer that if you ever get a chance to get it, I don't know if they're still being printed, but they're really beautiful, like beer travelogue, keep focusing on each country and the breweries historically that have been prominent. So this is our flagship. It's roughly 65% of all the beer we produce. Really put us on the map. It's a universal donor. And in that sense, I think it pairs extremely well with just about any kind of food. It'll be particularly good with brisket. Actually, I recommend this beer if you're buying it in bottles. It's an ideal beer for braising meat. And if you go to our website, we have a whole cooking with beer segment. And this is the beer I recommend the most for preparing meat dishes. Either with braising and marinating, it's ideal. It's not very bitter, so it won't impart a bitter flavor on the beer. And when you're braising meat and beer to begin with, one of the tricks for making, for instance, spare ribs or pork baby back ribs is the restaurant tricks is how to make the pork fall off the bone. We actually do it in a 50-50 mixture of beer, Märzen, and water, and it'll actually lock the flavor of the beef in there. It won't seep, allow the flavor to dilute or seep out of the meat. The other trick, just when cooking as a whole, braising meat, and this came from Mark Stark, who is actually the executive chef from this restaurant 23 years ago, and came over and became, yeah, that's scary, isn't it? I'm old now. He actually became our executive chef in 1995. He taught me this technique where you start off with a tepid liquid, the beer and water mixture, bring it to a boil, let it simmer, and then let it cool down before taking the meat out. The pores of the beef will open up and close down, locking the juice in there, so it'll be very juicy still. And that's one of the braising techniques that he taught me. And you can go on our website if you want to check that out. But Märzen is really incorporated in our barbecue sauce that we do at the brewery restaurant. And it's just you know, you can bathe with it, shampoo. It's really
scalp treatment.
You do that scalp treatment. It's what I think really put us on the map. So I think you'll enjoy that one, and I'll tell you about the Hefeweizen if I can still walk after this next course.
Thank you.